Hey everyone, today I'll be presenting a presentation called Screens and Your Eyes. People spend a lot of time on screens nowadays. However, many of them are unaware of the problems associated with high screen time. My name is Alexander Ko, and I will be presenting this presentation to you today. Why I believe this topic of screen overuse and the problems related to it is relevant is because a lot of people are spending a lot more time on screens nowadays, especially because of the pandemic. For example, you could be using it because you need to do work or you need to go to school because a lot of school is online now. I'm credible on this subject because I've studied problems related to the overuse of screens for years. This presentation will cover the problems related to screen overuse, my solution to these problems, the effect that said solution will have on life, and my actions to start my solution. Let me first explain the problems related to high screen time. The main problems I'll be discussing today that have to do with screen overuse are both eye strain and, by relation, dry eyes, as well as blue light exposure. Let me first talk about blue light exposure, and I apologize, I'll be flip-flopping a little bit in between the two subjects. Blue light is found in natural sources like sunlight, but also in artificial ones like fluorescent lights, LED lighting, flat screen TVs, computer screens, and smartphones, Yanoga 2019. What blue light basically does is that it harms your sleep. I'll get into a little bit more detail on this later. On the topic of eye strain, using your screens too much, whether it be through the glare or just staring too closely, one of those things, it causes eye strain. That's basically it. On the topic of eye strain, people who stare at a computer screen for long periods tend not to blink as often as usual, which can cause the eyes to feel dry and uncomfortable, Safeguarding Your Sight 2011. This also leads to eye strain, which can be harmful, as I will get into later. On the topic of blue light messes with your body's ability to prepare for sleep because it blocks a hormone called melatonin that makes you sleepy, Salomon 2020. And as you can see by my diagram, blue light actually suppresses melatonin the most out of other forms of light. What blue light basically does is that it throws the body's biological clock, the circadian rhythm, out of whack. Blue light has a dark side 2020. The circadian rhythm basically tells your body when to produce certain substances and other chemicals, such as melatonin. For example, let's say you usually go to bed around 10, then your body would normally produce melatonin around 10 o'clock. However, with blue light exposure, it throws off your circadian rhythm, basically meaning that it could be shifted from 3 hours so that your body doesn't make melatonin until, let's say, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you won't be able to sleep from 10 to 1, resulting in you being very tired the next day. Eye strain, on the other hand, can cause dry eyes, which means that you don't produce many tears. Tears protect the eyes from many invaders. So dry eyes, which means you don't have any tears, can lead to things like eye inflammation, abrasion of the corneal surface, corneal ulcers, and even vision loss. Ignore the even, that's not part of the quote. Dry eyes 2020. While these problems resulting from screen overuse can be extremely harmful, there are a few solutions, one of which I'd like to now introduce. I propose the creation of an app that will help prevent overuse of screens by sending reminders to shut off the screens at certain times. Why I believe this will be effective is because not only will it provide an audio reminder, such as a chirp or something like that, Americans like their phones. On average, Americans check their phones 344 times per day. We'll write 2022, which means that any reminder set on a phone will likely be very visible to people who use phones, especially Americans. This is why I'm in favor of using an app over other reminders, such as, let's say, alarms. How the app will specifically be used, it will provide reminders to take breaks every 20 minutes and alert the user 2 hours before bed. This is in accordance with certain research that I came up across, as it is recommended to avoid looking at bright screens beginning 2 to 3 hours before bed. Blue light has a dark side 2020. Being exposed to blue light, I would say about an hour before bed, will harm your circadian rhythm. So 2 to 3 hours is best, which is why my app will provide you a reminder 2 hours before bed to stop using your screens. The 20 minutes has to do with something called the 20-20-20 rule, which basically states every 20 minutes spent using a screen, you should try to look away at something that is 20 feet away from you for a total of 20 seconds, preventing eye strain with the 20-20-20 rule of 2018. What this basically does is it allows the eye to relax and prevents eye strain. How this relates to the problem. Roughly 4 in 10 Americans bring their cell phone into bed when trying to fall asleep, Pacheco 2020. So a lot of people bring their phones with them, exposing themselves to blue light, which maybe they don't even know is a problem. What this app will do is not only inform you about the problem, but it'll also remind people not to bring their phones into bed with them and the light and use their screens before bed, which prevents their sleep from being harmed by blue light. Some people might raise the objection, why not use blue light filtering glasses? It means you don't have to restrict yourself from screens after all. However, there haven't been any scientific studies that have proven they have any sort of health benefits. I'm sorry, there haven't been any scientific studies that have proven they have any sort of health benefits, Lawler 2021. So just avoiding blue light overall is preferable to trying to work around with it with glasses. Plus my app is free and blue light glasses can cost as much as $80. So there's another reason. Let me now show you what life would be like with my solution. Let's picture someone who uses the computer a lot. Let's say someone like me, who's a student who goes to online school or like a programmer. Like with the solution, you get a 20-minute reminder every 20-minute reminder every 20 minutes to look outside of the scenery, supplement the screen. What this basically does is it allows your eyes to relax, prevents eye strain throughout the day. It means your eyes will feel healthy and happy for basically the whole day. On top of that, with the 2-hour reminder to stop using screens before you go to bed, it's very easy to fall asleep, so you're less tired in the morning. Now let's compare that to someone who doesn't use my app. Their eyes will be tired and sore daily because they're straining their eyes all the time. They're not relaxing them. And on top of that, it'll be hard for them to sleep because they'll be very tired in the morning because they were looking at screens all night, which threw their circadian rhythm out of whack. Now that you've seen the drastic difference between life with my app and life without it, I'd like to tell you how you can all easily make your life free of being tired and being unable to sleep. All you have to do is find my app on the App/Play Store, download it, and set up the settings for the app, like what time bedtime is at, so we can give you your correct 2-hour reminders and stuff like that. I've also provided a QR app, which will take you right to the app, so it's very accessible. There's almost no reason not to get it. Let me now lead to my conclusion. I've covered how screens can be harmful, provided a solution to this problem, and showed people what actions they can do to make my solution happen. Since it's likely that we'll all still be using screens a lot, I hope a lot of you are now better informed on how to deal with the dangers of screen overuse. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Here are my references.